everyone, it's Michelle Caruana, creator of the Marketing Junkie podcast. And in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what a split test is and step-by-step how to perform a manual split test both at the ad set level, so the targeting level, and at the ad level or the creative level in Business Manager. And this is updated as of 2021. Now, if you're not sure how Business Manager is organized or you're brand new to Facebook ads, I want you to go back and watch the video I linked in the description where I really break down how Business Manager is organized. But if you are familiar with it, just a quick review. At the very top level is the campaign level where you choose your objective. At the ad set level, which is under the campaign level, you choose things like targeting and placements and budget. And then underneath the ad set level is the ad level where you choose things like your link placement, your creative, all of that good stuff. So again, I'm going to walk through how to create a split test both at the ad set level, so where you can split test two different audiences, and also at the ad level where you can split test two different creatives. Now, the second thing I want you to keep in mind when you watch this video, and I do mention it throughout the video as well, is that you really want to keep your split testing specific. Only split test one thing at a time. It may be very tempting to split test both an image and a headline and copy all in one split test, but I really want to make sure that you're able to actually use the data from your split test to make an informed decision and better improve your ads in the future. And you're only going to be able to tell which element contributed to either the success or the failure of an ad if you only split test one thing at a time. So again, I'm going to explain more about that throughout this video. I just wanted to mention it so you keep it in mind. All right, let's hop into Ads Manager and see how to perform these manual split tests. Okay, the first thing I did was hit Create Campaign. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, if you want to split test at objectives, you're going to need to do two separate campaigns. So I'm not going to show that here. I'm just going to show how to split test at the ad set level and at the ad level. Now, if you're not sure which ad objective to choose, I do have an entire video and a free guide on how to choose the best ad objective for your Facebook ad campaign. I'm going to link that in the description of this video. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to select traffic because it's really simple. I'm just going to hit continue after I choose the objective. Now it's going to bring me to the campaign settings. So I'm just going to call this test so I don't get confused later. And I don't really need to change anything else for the demonstration of this video. So I'm just going to hit next, and then it's going to bring me to the ad set level. And I'm just going to show you how I find it easiest to do this. There are a couple different ways. There is no one perfect right way. This is just the way that I find the most simple. So I'm not going to change budget or anything like that because, again, this is a very narrowly scoped video. So I'm just going to select a custom audience. And for this, I'm going to select actually a lookalike audience. So basically, this is a cold audience. And I'm saying, Facebook, I want anyone that visited my website in the last 365 days, I want you to find me people that are similar to those people. And this US 1% is just basically saying where you want these new lookalike customers to be located and how big of a net do you want Facebook to cast. How close of matches do you want these to be? The bigger the percentage, the more loosely related these lookalike customers will be from the original group. So again, that's another video for another time, but this is basically the first audience that I'm going to test. Now, sometimes you can add on additional layers of targeting. So you can change the age range, you can change the gender, and then you can also add additional detailed targeting on top of it. So for example, for my Play Cafe Academy course, I will oftentimes layer additional targeting on my lookalike audiences. So I know that like 99% of my customers are parents. So I will edit this, and I will also make it be necessary that not only will they match the lookalike audience, but they will also have to be parents. So you can further qualify your lookalike audience that way. And if you are a local business who wants to use a lookalike audience and US is too broad of a target for you, you can also change the location here and make it more of a narrow scope so that you're not reaching or spending money on reaching any new customers that are not going to be able to support your business. So this is the only thing that I'm going to change here. If you want to do different placements, this is something that you can also do. I really highly recommend only split testing one thing at a time. So if you're going to split test audience, only split test audiences. If you're going to split test placements, only split test placements. Now there is one exception if you want to do the exact same targeting, but you just want to do an Instagram story placement. That's a little bit different, but that is, again, another video for another time. So the only thing I'm going to select, again, is this particular audience, and I'm going to name this Lookalike Audience Website Viewers 365, just so I know exactly which audience this is. And then I'm going to hit next. And again, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to just fill in this stuff really quickly just so I can show you how to complete your split test. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure my pages are correct. This is not the correct Instagram account. I'm going to use Open and Indoor Playground and Play Cafe Academy as an example. So you can do a single image or a video here, add an instant experience. I'm just going to add something that's already in my library. So I'm going to add an image. This is going to come into play when we go to split test images. And again, same at the ad level as at the ad set level. I highly recommend only testing one thing at a time. So if you're split testing headlines, only split test headlines. If you're split testing images, only split test the image, because if you have too many moving parts and you're testing too many things, it's going to be confusing and you're not going to be able to interpret that data. All right, so I have my image choice. I'm just going to say test for the actual copy of the ad. Anytime Ads Manager goes through an update, they always give me all of these pop-ups that happen. I'm just going to hit test all of these. And next, after I show you how to split test the ad set level, I'm going to show you how to split test this. But just in order to get the ad to publish, I do have to put something here. So I'm just going to send people to my homepage. Again, I would never recommend actually doing this. This is just showing you how to split test. So you would put your actual destination for your ad here. And then I'm just going to hit publish. And then once it's published, I'm going to go back into the ad set level and show you how to split test there. All right, so I'm just going to click out of this right here so that it brings me to my Ads Manager here. So under campaigns, you will see this new test campaign. It's the blue one right on top. All right, so I am going to go ahead and, excuse me, that was the incorrect test one. That one is in draft. That one was from an earlier video. This is the one I want to actually show you. So now it's going to pull up it says that it's still selected 2 campaigns. That's Ads Manager just being a little bit buggy because I know I only have one ad set for this particular ad. Not sure why it's showing me this one. This one is for a different ad. Again, just one of those little buggy things in Ads Manager. But this is the audience. Let's say I want to test 2 different audiences. In order to complete this split test in a manual way, you're just going to hit duplicate, and it's going to duplicate the entire audience. And I do want it to be attached to the original campaign. I do not want to create a new campaign. And I also don't want to select this A/B test because I like to have control over when I decide an ad set is winning, and I want to have more control over when I actually turn the winning ad set on or off or turn the losing ad sets off. So I don't like to use Facebook's automatic split test. I like to do my own manual split test. So I'm just going to duplicate this audience. And then I'm going to go in, and the only thing that I'm going to change, so let's say I want to use my lookalike audience, but instead I want to use my email list. So I put LLA, but it's actually LAA, lookalike audience. And let's say I want to do my email list. Now, again, the only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to split test this audience. So I'm going to remove the original audience. And I already had these lookalike audiences set up. You might need to create a new custom or a lookalike audience. That is another video for another time. I'm going to select some that I already have available to me. So this is actually an Australian lookalike audience. So I'm not going to use this one. That is for people living in Australia. So let's just search email first because I know I have a lookalike audience for my email list. All right. So this would be the base audience. I want to use a lookalike US 1% for my email list. Now, ideally, you would update this every month or as often as possible if you are utilizing this type of audience. The last time I updated it was in September, so I'm going to need to go ahead and update that. But again, this is the only thing that I'm changing, and I'm making sure that the title is reflective of the change. And then I'm going to hit publish. All right, now that it is published, I'm going to exit out of this. And as you can see, there are now two different ad sets. So I'm only split testing the two different audiences. So the lookalike audience based off of my website viewers and the lookalike audience based off of my email list. Now, just to make sure this doesn't actually get pushed out and get put in people's news feeds, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure the campaign is off because I don't want a test ad running. But that is how you complete a manual split test of different audiences. And you're going to be able to break down the results and understand which one is performing better and turn ads on or off, turn ad sets on or off right here. So let's say the lookalike email list audience is getting much cheaper landing page views and you want to go ahead and turn this one off. I would recommend doing it right here at the ad set level. So now the only audience that is running is this lookalike based on my email list. Now let's talk about split testing ads. So I'm going to go ahead and select both of these ad sets, and then I'm going to go all the way up here to the ad level. Now again, just ignore this because it is a draft, but these are the two ads. So they're exactly the same. The only difference is that they are attached to a different ad set. So again, one is attached to lookalike email list, one is attached to lookalike website viewers. And I highly recommend naming your ads such that you understand which is which. So for example, how I'm going to do that is I'm only going to select one. So I'm going to select lookalike email list, and it is only going to pull up this one ad. So I'm going to go ahead and change this name right now, and I'm going to call it lookalike email, just so I know. And then the other one, I'm not going to bother changing it because I'm only split testing two. I'm going to know by default which is which. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to select both ad sets. This is very important. So then again, it is going to pull up the two different ads. Now, let's say I want to split test two different images. And again, I highly recommend only split testing one thing at a time. So I'm going to make sure that because I'm also split testing the audience, I'm going to essentially create 4 different ads. So for each ad set, there is going to be 2 ads. There is going to be a split test with 2 different images for audience 1, and there is going to be a split test of the same 2 images for audience 2. Now, there is some strategy behind, only using some images for warm audiences, some images for cold audiences, depending on which perform better. But just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to show you how to create a split test with both audiences with the same image. So I'm going to follow the same process as I did at the ad set level. I'm going to duplicate these 2 ads, but I'm again going to make sure that I'm going to be duplicating both. And the only thing that I'm going to change is the image. So again, I want it to be attached to the original campaign. And it's going to actually let me edit both of these at once, which is really nice. I don't need to edit both of them. So again, I'm just going to assume that I want both audiences to get the same new image. So I'm going to hit change image, not edit image. And let's say I want to do this one. So I'm basically split testing whether or not having this little black screen makes a positive or negative difference in the ad. And again, it's going to change it for both of them. And then I'm going to hit publish. Now, the next naming convention tip that I'm going to give you is after you make this change, definitely make sure that you are editing the ad names as well. So instead of copy, I'm going to select image 2 or video 2, whatever the case may be, and publish it so that I know which is which. Because even though I can see the thumbnails here, if you're on a mobile device or something like that, you might not be able to see the actual images. So I'm just going to make sure that I change the name here so that I know for sure it's image 2 when I'm interpreting the results. Also, if you utilize Facebook's ad reporting feature and you're not just looking at it inside of Ads Manager, having this image 1 versus image 2, you can go ahead and change this to image 1. I'm not going to, again, just for demonstration purposes. But if you change the naming convention to be very specific, it's going to make it really easy for you to read those reports because they do not have images in them. So as you can see now, I have one campaign that is selected, my test campaign. I have 2 ad sets that I'm split testing. And then each ad set has 2 ads, each with a different image. So there are 4 total ads here that I'm going to be split testing. And again, you can interpret this data here at the ad level. There is no data because it has not ran, but that is how to complete a manual split test both at the ad set level and at the ad level. If you have any questions about this demonstration, please leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to help. All right, well, that was exactly how to perform a manual split test, both at the ad set level and the ad level. As I mentioned, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to comment on this video. I read and answer every question. And for more free ad tips, feel free to head over to my website, michellecaruana.com/ads. It is linked below. There are tons of free Facebook ad resources. And don't forget to subscribe to the Marketing Junkie podcast, where I give Facebook ad and other marketing tips every single week. And if you enjoyed this video, you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It helps so much and it helps me bring you these free tips every single week. All right, have a great day, guys.